Hello and welcome to the review of the 2023 British Grand Prix. Firstly, I'd like to start off with an apology. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you may not be aware that I was at Silverstone last weekend, so I unfortunately didn't have any time to edit the preview, but this is a special review as most of the photos, if not all the photos, were taken at Silverstone by me. Although, don't expect anything special as they were taken on an iPhone. Let's get started then with Red Bull, and Max Verstappen qualified on pole once again, and like always, Sergio Perez didn't make Q3 as he qualified 16th, but was promoted to 15th for the race. In the race itself, it wasn't easy at the start for Verstappen as he had a poor start, which let Lando Norris take the lead, and Verstappen also faced pressure from the other McLaren of Piastri. However, after a few laps, Verstappen retook the lead and kept it to win. Sergio Perez recovered to 6th, but he needs to do better considering he is in the fastest car on the grid. On to McLaren, and that new livery really improved their pace, as Norris narrowly missed out on pole position, and rookie Oscar Piastri qualified behind him in a career-best 3rd place. In the race, the crowd erupted as one of the home favourites, Lando Norris, took the lead of the British Grand Prix, going into turn 1, and led championship leader Max Verstappen. Predictably, however, Verstappen retook the lead not long after. The two McLarens were running 2 and 3, but the safety car changed this as Lewis Hamilton emerged 3rd, demoting Piastri down to 4th. When the safety car came in, we were treated to another Hamilton vs Norris battle, which saw Norris fend off the 7-time world champion to defend his 2nd place. And Piastri was just 9/10 off his first F1 podium as he crossed the line in 4th. On to Mercedes, and they had some luck, as after a disappointing qualifying which saw Hamilton and Russell qualify behind the two Ferraris and the McLarens in 6th and 7th, they needed some luck to get towards the podium, which occurred when the safety car came out in the race. Then, thanks to good strategy and a bit of luck, Lewis Hamilton joined Norris on the podium in 3rd, as two Brits stood on the British Grand Prix podium for the first time since 1999. After battles with the Ferraris, including this amazing overtake on Charles Leclerc, Russell crossed the line in a solid 5th place. Let's move on to Aston Martin, and they seem to be going backwards, much like Ferrari at the start of the season. Fernando Alonso qualified in 9th, and Lance Stroll qualified in 12th. Alonso made a good start as he jumped past Albon and Hamilton ahead of him, but he was soon demoted back to 8th after Hamilton re-overtook him. Lance Stroll was on the edge of the points for most of the race and fighting Pierre Gasly before the two collided, sending Gasly out of the race, and Stroll was given a 5-second penalty as a result. At the end of the race, Alonso was classified 7th, and Stroll was classified 14th after his penalty was applied. Let's move on to Williams, and Albon surprised everyone by finishing in the top 3 in every practice session of the weekend. However, this pace didn't quite show in qualifying, as Alex Albon qualified 8th, and Logan Sargent qualified in 14th. After close battles in the race, Albon finished 8th ahead of the two Ferraris, and Sargent just missed out on points in 11th. Next up is Ferrari, and yet again they ruined their race with their strategy. Charles Leclerc qualified 4th, and Carlos Sainz qualified 5th. However, Ferrari decided to do a 2-stop strategy which resulted in Leclerc finishing in 9th and Sainz finishing in 10th. Alfa Romeo had a disaster qualifying as Bottas ran out of fuel in Q1, which resulted in him being excluded from qualifying, and Zhou Guanyu started the race in 17th. Bottas made a good comeback from the back of the grid and finished 12th, and Zhou Guanyu finished 15th. Let's move on to Haas, who not only seem to be struggling with race pace but also race reliability, as last race Nico Hülkenberg didn't finish, and this race it was Kevin Magnussen. Hülkenberg started this race in 11th and finished in 13th. Alpine had a double DNF, and Nick de Vries finished his last race in Formula 1 for now in 17th. As it has now been announced that Daniel Ricciardo will replace him at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now that's all the teams wrapped up, let's move on to the top 3 things we learned from the British Grand Prix. At number 3, I have gone with Mika Hakkinen was right. About a month ago, Hakkinen claimed that McLaren would be fighting Red Bull soon, and here we are. At number 2, I have gone with Williams and made another step forward as Albon surprises everyone in practice after being in the top 3 in every practice session of the weekend. And at number 1, I have gone with Nick de Vries is gone, and it has now been revealed that Daniel Ricciardo will replace him at the next race in Hungary. We won't look at my predictions for the British Grand Prix as I got them all wrong, so here are my Hungarian Grand Prix predictions. For the top 3, I have gone with Max Verstappen P1, George Russell P2, and Sergio Perez P3. For the surprise driver, I predicted Daniel Ricciardo to finish in the top 8. And for the DNF prediction, I have predicted Zhou Guanyu. What are your predictions for the Hungarian Grand Prix? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.